Hello. Very nice to be here. It's really, really cool. It's actually literally cool because I come from Bucharest where we had 30 degrees or something like that, and here it's a bit chilly. What I prepared for you today are 10 ingredients which I think were the basis of our success with Answear, which is a fashion online store in Romania and in the region. The first thing that we thought about when we launched Answear in Romania in 2016 was whether our operations should be localized or whether we should keep everything centralized from Poland. So Answear was already expanded to Czech Republic, to Slovakia, to Ukraine, and the results were moderately good. And we were thinking in the beginning whether for Romania we should have another strategy or whether we should keep things as they were and launch everything according to plan. What we did was that we kept a balance, and I think this is the right answer when expanding your business to other countries, because literally there are things that are important to be centralized in order to have a cost-effective business, but on the other hand, there are certain things that are particular to each country. And for example, what was very surprising to my colleagues in Answear in Romania was, first of all, that even though the e-commerce market was pretty big already, it was 2.5 billion euros at that time, even if the market was big and we had a few online shops, the trust in e-commerce businesses of the clients was very, very low. And this translated into a very high percentage of cash-on-delivery payments. So in Romania, 90% of the payments in online shops are done cash-on-delivery, so not online by card. This is also similar in other CEE countries, but I know that in our case in Bulgaria is very, very high. When asking people why they were paying only cash on delivery, it was obvious that the problem was that they didn't trust online shops. This came with a bonus, which was the fact that, and this is also applies to Bulgaria, people don't trust online shops with their brands. They believe that the products, the brand products, can be fakes. So we took these things into account. And since the beginning, since the launch of Answear in Romania, we communicated that we have 100% original products. But of course, to communicate it doesn't mean that people will literally trust you. So what we did was that we went like kamikaze and said right from the beginning that our returns are free and they are very, very easy. So we communicated right from the start that you can buy from us, you can verify the products, see if they are original, and you can return them very, very easily. And we did this with a very big TV campaign. And I think this worked very well for us because right from the start, we put ourselves out there and we made people trust us. Another thing that we did locally in Romania, as I'm saying here, we had, when we launched, over 300 brands. And generally, in Poland and in Czech Republic, Answear was communicating certain brands like Tommy Hilfiger, but they were also communicating a lot their own brands. What we did in Romania was we checked with Google Ads Keyword Planner, which I think we know, and with Google Trends. We checked that there was a lot of appetite for brands like Calvin Klein, which no one was selling. Answear didn't have this brand in their portfolio at that time, but because we saw an increased number of searches that was trending highly, and we saw that no one else was selling this brand online, we brought it in our portfolio, especially from Romania. And as our budget in the beginning at the launch was limited, what we did was we took all our budget and we communicated with a big TV campaign. Our mentality was very similar to what Andrei was saying before. It was something like go big or go home. I think that it's very important when you launch a business from a foreign country, which is not something like Amazon, I think it is very important to come prepared and to show that you're a real brand, that you mean business. And we said, okay, we won't invest our budget through 3 or 4 months, maybe. We won't have budget to do performance marketing all these months, but we will launch on TV and we will be highly confident and we will say that we are a trustable brand. And what we did was we communicated a lot Tommy Hilfiger and Calvin Klein, which no one else was selling. Some other flavors of localization that I know from my colleagues, for example, a nice thing, a not so nice thing, was that in Ukraine, what we realized is that people are very much into discounts. And even though Answear is generally not communicating discounts so much as an online shop, in Ukraine we had to adapt our strategy and communicate discounts because this market apparently is not buying otherwise. Probably things would change, but here there was a need for localization. In Czech Republic, we needed to communicate other types of brands, for example. Answear is usually communicating fashion, style, and so on. And there was a big difference between what we were communicating and what people in the Czech Republic were buying. Even though in other countries people were buying dresses and shirts and so on, in the Czech Republic they were buying a lot of hoodies. This was like a really big surprise for us because we weren't using hoodies in any of our commercials. So what we did in the Czech Republic was we realized that and we started communicating a more sports, smart casual type of clothing. In Bulgaria, we just launched last year and we did a similar communication like in Romania because it was the same fear, fake products and also discounts like in Ukraine. But at the end of the day, I think that this is the most important question when you expand your business in other countries. How much should it be localized? From what I've seen many businesses come to Romania because what happens is that, I was discussing this with some colleagues last evening, Romanian people aren't that courageous to go to other countries, so when other countries are becoming highly competitive, they come to Romania. And I've seen a lot of e-commerce businesses fall and a lot of other e-commerce businesses rise. The businesses that really fell were the ones that localized too fast, too much. The ones that invested a lot in having an office right from the start, having pickup points, and I think you know one example in Czech Republic, I'm not going to name, which really failed in Romania, and investing a lot in people and so on right from the start. So I think the secret sauce here is that when you expand your business, you should pay attention to be like more like a minimum viable product at the launch. You should think how to really stand out, how to be out of the box, how to make your presence felt. But on the other hand, it's very important not to invest too much, to make it like a test. So first, maybe you hire an agency, maybe you hire a local consultant and so on. But what you should localize is the things that really matter to your customer. So try to do your homework very well and learn these things right from the start. Because, for example, if you go to Ukraine to sell high fashion, of course you won't be very successful if you don't bring in some discounts, for example. Or in Romania, I've seen a lot of businesses also from Slovakia and from Czech Republic, which are not succeeding, and I think they believe they are not succeeding because maybe their targeting or performance marketing is not so good, but my honest opinion is that they aren't succeeding because they aren't investing in building the trust with the Romanian customer. It's important because we don't trust you. So if you're coming to Romania, we don't trust you unless you tell us you're a big brand, unless you advertise yourself in such a way. And I think this is available, so I'm not just saying about Romania, I think this is important in all type of expansion. It's important to keep it cost effective and don't go all the way out there, but on the other hand, be smart and think about the important local stuff. Another thing that worked for us, and I think it's a general rule, it's not generally about expansion, we realized that the trend was mobile. I'm saying the trend because it was 2015 back then. And we realized that more and more, and especially in Romania and Hungary, the transactions will be mostly from mobile. And what we did, we launched the mobile apps in Romania and Hungary before Poland, Czech Republic, and so on, because we saw there a big appetite for mobile. And what happens is that since last year, more than half of our transactions are from the mobile, and especially from the mobile app. A mobile app compared to a mobile website also brings you the big advantage that you have loyal customers. You have them there in your app. Another thing I already mentioned was this, to go big or go home. So our budget at launch in Answear wasn't limited, but it was the kind of budget that would take you through 4 or 5 months of performance marketing, real-time bidding, Google ads, Facebook ads, and all the rest. I'm a mathematics person with a technical background, and I've done performance marketing for the past 15 years. Still, I realized what I was telling you before, that it's important to build trust. So what we did was we cut all our performance marketing and we did our launch only with TV and PR. Maybe it was a very bold move, but it was the right move, because what I've seen is that the countries where Answear wasn't launched big were the countries where it's not going so great. The countries where we were bold right from the start were the countries where Answear managed to build a brand. And I think this is important, to show that you're not some small random player, especially with countries where trust is an issue. Another thing that works a lot in fashion is social. Here in Romania, we had a real challenge, the fact that the fashion influencers are very, very expensive. But from any challenge in general in life, I think that you learn a lot. And from this problem we had in Romania, we learned a lot for all our other markets. In Romania, in order for an influencer to post an Insta story for your brand, they usually take you from €1,000 more. So it's really like this. Big fashion influencers usually ask for €2,000 for one Insta story, which is totally crazy, especially in the beginning. So we realized that, okay, we can't afford this. So what are we going to do? Because we want to build a brand and so on. What we did was we went for micro-influencers. We realized that one of the buyer personas which nobody was targeting were the business ladies. Another one were the digital moms. Everyone was going for the fashionistas because, yeah, they have an appetite, they have followers, everyone is following them and buying the dresses that they advertise and so on. Okay, but this is something that everyone is thinking of. That is the red ocean. That is where everyone is competing. So what we found were these two buyer personas, and we went for them. And it was, of course, it was cheaper, and it was easier. So we went for the business ladies, and what we did was we had a small photo shooting whose cost was less than €2,000 for sure, where we brought 20 women, which were like CEOs, marketing directors from brands well-known, all of them with their online community. So this was important. We chose the ones that had their own Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn communities. And we did this nice photo shooting and events. We had cross-promotions with other partners like Sephora, BMW, Elle Magazines, and others. And with a cost which was less than €2,000, we got a lot of reach, a lot of credibility, and we really managed to tap into their communities. So this was a really nice example that afterwards all the other markets tried. So it's nice to think of buyer personas that no one is targeting that much, or they are targeting less, and to think about their communities, micro-influencers, and so on. I think it's a very cost-effective way to build your brand with smaller budget. Another thing which we are struggling with on all markets is fast deliveries. From our data and surveys at GPEC, we are doing a CEE commerce event, and we are also gathering data from all these markets in CEE. What we found out is that the expectations of the users regarding delivery are growing and growing. Some years ago, it was okay to deliver in 3 days. Now, 2 days is too much. This is a real struggle in Romania and Bulgaria, which are countries that are not so connected to highways and so on. But the expectations are growing and growing. So what we are doing on all the markets, and I think it's important to try, even though the infrastructure of the country is not good, even though the normal solutions, the top couriers are not helping you, I think it's important to try other partners, other options, like we also have Zasilkovna in Romania, and it's a good option. It's nice to try other partners, as many as you can, to provide this fast delivery, especially in the top cities, because it will bring you even more the trust of the customers. Even more interesting about the expectations, from our survey at GPEC, we saw that at the moment in 2019, more than 90% of the people in the markets told us that they are expecting a brand to respond in social media in 24 hours. And it was also interesting that 27% of the people were expecting the brands to respond real time, no matter the hour. So this was also something that we are working on in Answear, and it's working well. We are responding to everyone, even if they are swearing, even if they aren't so nice to us, even if they are rude, even if you screwed up, because in e-commerce I think you screw up a lot, and it's not only your fault, it's sometimes your partner's fault, but it's important to still keep it your fault. So we are the ones that say, okay, thank you for the feedback, we are going to solve it, and so on. And this brought us to a situation where we have one of the highest NPS scores on the Romanian markets. And people especially appreciate the fact that we answer even if we screw up. And it's important to answer all the time. We have people that even answer during the night. Another thing I already mentioned, the returns. I think it was important that we had the cojones right from the start to say that returns are free and they are easy and so on. Of course, this brings you a business problem, but we work in fashion. Of course, it's not the same for all types of products, but in fashion, the biggest problem, and it's not only in Romania, it's that people can't see the fabric, they don't see how the dresses look on them, and so on. So it was very important to encourage this right from the start. What we are all looking for is to deliver to the people more sizes and to let them keep only what they want. But for example, in Romania, this is very complicated, but there are many courier businesses, startups that are launching now and are trying to provide this solution. And I think that in fashion, yeah, this is very important. One thing I forgot to mention about the customer service, not only are we answering all the time, but another big issue we struggle with in Romania and Ukraine and Bulgaria and even Hungary is the lack of people. People are emigrating a lot, and in Romania, for example, we have no people left. Like literally, it is very, very complicated to hire people, especially for customer support, because they are all in Italy, in Spain, in Germany, and so on. So this is where there was some nice feature that Answear already had in Poland, which is nice for the customer and also to build your employer brand. We are training our customer support people in fashion and styling so that they can answer the questions of the customers. Regarding this, most of the questions coming from the customers are regarding the sizes for certain brands, products, and so on. But the second category are the questions like, how do I wear this shirt? Should I wear a red shirt with this black skirt? Does it look good? And so on. It's unbelievable, but it really is like this. And it's very nice both for our customer support people to get trained in styling, and it is also something nice that they can answer to this type of customer questions. And this is something we are really building on. And we are also generally communicating Answear as your personal fashion stylist. And another reason to believe behind this unique selling proposition is the way the user experience on the website is built. Not exactly the online shop user experience, but what I think we do really well, because it's fashion, is the way we present our products. We don't just present you like here, the t-shirt on a lady and so on, she's pretty, true, but we are presenting them more like a catwalk show. And we usually give you 2 or 3 options of how that t-shirt looks good with pants, with skirt, and so on. And we also give you a video for our top products. And this is something that really increased our conversion. The fact that we have nice photos increased our conversion 2 times, and the fact that we have added videos increased our conversions with even 30–40%. So I think it is important. It is not something cheap, but I think it's definitely worth it in fashion. Another thing which I think we do much better than others, for example in Romania, is the fact that we always segment our audience in not only on buyer personas, but also in terms of how they connect with us. And we focus a lot on their loyalty. We have the Answear Club. If our users register in the Answear Club, they get 10% discount for their next order in Answear points. And this is a nice feature, which brings us almost 50% loyal users without doing anything else. And another thing we are working on a lot, depending on your degree of loyalty to the brand, we are segmenting you differently, offering you, for example, special products which only you will know about, special shopping events through newsletters, and so on. And I think generally, not only in Answear, in e-commerce, it's very important not to go only for customer acquisition. I think this is a pitfall where we all come across. The fact that we are only focusing on customer acquisition. And I think it's important to divide your marketing budgets into customer acquisition, but also customer retention and loyalty, because otherwise you will be paying much more, you will have much smaller return on investment. And the last but not least thing is that in Romania, and I was telling you that also in Bulgaria and Ukraine, people are very price sensitive. And I think this is something that happens in other countries as well, because I hear many entrepreneurs saying that people aren't buying from them unless they have discount campaigns. I think it's true. Some countries are more price sensitive than others. Some types of customers are more price sensitive than others. But I think it's important to always try to bring something more to the brand, to either bring a cause around your online shop, or to try to bring a community around your online shop. And I love this quote from Seth Godin, and I really believe in it. The reason why people only care about price is that you haven't given them anything else to care about. And I think there are many, many brands around the world that already prove this. We are also trying to bring this in Answear, but I've seen many other businesses do it, and I think it's important to find that uniqueness that brings a community around your brand so that people will buy from you not only because you have discount campaigns. Thank you.
Luca, thank you very much.
Thank you as well, even though you didn't buy your dress from Answear.
And you will be around in case somebody's interested to talk to you. Raluca tu zostáva, je vám takisto k dispozícii. And also you'll be around to do a networking through an application Swapcard. Cez aplikáciu Swapcard heslo máte na vašej kartičke, myslím, že to je MastersGate, sa takisto môžete networkovať s Ralukou, môžete sa s ňou spojiť, môžete sa networkovať navzájom, takže to len dávam do vašej pozornosti. So one more time, thank you so much for your presentation and for coming to Slovakia. Thank you.